Welcome back, everybody. You're watching The New Word, which is my interview segment. I am going to be your host. My name is Jimmy, and I'm one of your student bloggers. I have a new guest with me today, so please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brooklyn. I'm your VP of Student Life for New College Student Council for this school year. And it's really fun and exciting to be here to answer some questions.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, by the way. I do appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
I know everyone's a little swamped around this time of year, so let's just jump right into the interview and let the audience get to know our student council member a little bit better. So let's start with something fun. Who is one fictional character that you can really relate to, and why?
Yeah. So, after some thought about this, I would have to say it'd be Hermione Granger from Harry Potter, just because she's always like super focused on school and because of the nature of, university classes, I am too. And because she's also always there for like her like Ron and Harry, and that's how I am with my friends for a lot of the like for a lot of things. Like if any of my friends reach out and they're like, "Oh, I need help," I'm like, "Hey, I'm here. What do you need?"
Yeah, I can really respect that attitude. Actually, it's nice to have a friend who you can rely on, and I think being there for your friends and really as a whole for the new college community, especially as a student council member, right, is a really big
Mhm.
deal. Let's talk a little bit about courses then, especially because you're a member of student council, so you have a lot of added responsibility, right?
Mhm.
So, what's it like balancing student council work and coursework? And what are some of the upsides and some of the downsides, at least in your opinion, of having these extra responsibilities?
Yeah, so with the balancing, I haven't found it too hard. So this is my second year on student council. Last year I was one of the mid-year reps, and um especially in that role, because it wasn't like an exec role, I found it a bit easier to balance everything because really it only gets super, super busy and like a lot to do right near when you're planning your event or if you're helping out with someone else's event. Like I helped with a first year's event and I got kind of busy right near then. But a lot of the times it's just like because I'm a super organized person. So like if you are too, this advice giver, like I always make to-do lists and I'm like, oh, do the student council thing and do the school thing. But really the nature of it isn't too bad for balancing because like we're not asking like 12 hours a week, like or too many hours a week of you because we're all students, so we understand that you have all like these other student responsibilities and like other clubs. Like for instance, like I'm a history students association mentor as well. So I have that. But I haven't found it too bad, especially because like well, with everything being online, it's a bit easier because you're not running to class all the time. But really, we don't ask a lot of you, like hours wise. So it's not super difficult to balance as long as you got like, especially with a lot of the roles, there's two people in it. So it's easier because you're like, oh, I don't have time to do like A and B for our event. Can you do it? And I can do like C and D because it's a bit later. So there's also that lot of teamwork that takes a lot of the like pressure off because there's maybe like two or more of you in some of the roles. So balancing it isn't too bad because it's like I have a test. Do you mind doing like the risk assessment form so I can study for it? And like your partner will help, or like even other members on council. Like I said, like I a lot of the times last year would like always help with something because they're like, oh, I'm like I have something, my partner's doing something, or like we just need some extra help. So there's always that element of help there to help with balancing because everyone's there to assist you so we can have these like great events for the constituents and all the other students so you can have this good so it can be so good and everyone can have a good time and get stuff out of it. So upsides and downsides. All right, these responsibilities, like I said, we have like this help so we can help with the responsibilities. um but also the upside because you have to kind of organize your time, you can really work on your time organization skills. Like this is what started me making these like weekly to-do lists. It's like, oh, I've got student council stuff and school stuff. So you can work on your time management with like all these planning for these events. And then there's also this element of like with these other responsibilities, you gotta like there's a lot of communications. You can also really work on your communication skills. So that's something you're kind of struggling with because there's a lot of like intra-council communications and like with the students you're representing. So like that's really great. And part of the responsibility because there's so many of you on council, you can create this like really great bond. Like there's a couple of people from council last year that I got to know and become friendly with because you were all there. And like that's one of the upsides. Like you have this like super great chance to represent the students while also making these bonds with other people and bonds with students who come to your events. Like it's really a great community center. And like I said, you can also work on some of these soft and hard skills like communications and planning. It's that's always a good thing to have is communication and planning skills.
Hmm, for sure.
So one downside that I can really think of is this little element of stress because you're always worried about your event going smoothly and the students getting what you wanted out of it. And every time there's always this worry, and I remember having it like, what if like only three people come and they're my friends I told about it? But a
Hmm.
lot of the times people will come because like council always plans really great events and they're always fun. Like a couple times I wasn't able to go to other ones because like school. But
Hmm.
if you can go to them, definitely go because they're always really fun and everyone's like super passionate about it. And like you can get a lot out of it as a student going, like these bonds, like information about different things. Like I had an event last year as a mid-year rep about um going abroad and like that was super informative and like even like I said just going and creating these bonds with like other students is super great especially with the pandemic now because we're not actually at school so you can really create bonds with people going to these great events so
Hmm.
don't be worried so that's like the biggest stress is like oh is the event going to go well and it always does.
But yeah, that sounds really great, and it's really nice that you're working hard to promote these events
Mm-hmm.
and to design these events to really help the college community enjoy their time here. Especially because college is stressful, right? And
Oh yeah.
it's also really good that you're giving people opportunities to get to know this community, which, like, I, at least firsthand, I have learned is a really good community and that I really enjoy
Mm-hmm.
being a part of. Let's talk a little bit about the elephant in the room, aka quarantine. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, what's your go-to method for socializing during quarantine?
Yeah, so a lot of it is just like messaging friends and stuff on Instagram, or a couple times I've done some like online movie nights with friends. So like we just open Netflix with this great like Chrome extension called it used to be called Netflix Party. It's got a new name now, Teleparty or something, and it's got like a little chat function so you can chat with your friends in it. Or even like we've done some online game nights through Discord, or like I go to the Get Like Gaming, which is a club at New College, like events, and that's really fun because you just get together and play a bunch of games. So that's what I've been doing for socializing.
That sounds great, actually. I really do wish, like, as soon as this, as soon as this whole COVID thing blows over, we can all, like, gather in the college building and just, play a game together. Speaking of which, let's take a quick break. I know the student council is planning a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
So do you have any, little spoilers for us? Anything that's coming up, that you want to promote?
Yeah, so there's a post about it up right now on our Instagram with more details. But our social commissioners are planning an event called Virtue Olympics for Reading Week, which is started now and like officially starting on Monday, I guess. But it's just like the week, and you can play like there's games to play, and they've organized a raffle as well so you can enter the raffle for gift cards. And like I said, we have a post up on our Instagram right now at my NCSC, I believe, and with more information about it. And it should be fun because like we talk about it in our meetings and it sounds like it's going to be a great time. And then athletics on the 18th has a League of Legends tournament. So it's Thursday, February 18th. So there's there'll be posts about it as well, like on their Instagram, and we repost stuff. So you'll definitely see the advertising for that as it gets a bit closer to the date.
Sounds great. I'm gonna keep my eye on the 18th because I'm starved for esports. But that aside, it sounds really exciting. And once again, you've already talked about how exciting these events can be, and I am looking forward to seeing how it goes down, and hopefully seeing who wins that esports tournament. Because
Yeah.
you gotta go pro. Jokes aside, let's jump right back into the questions. Let's talk a little bit about U of T life. What's your favorite study spot that's not a library?
All right. I have to think hard about this because a lot of the times when I was studying, I would just go to Ivy or Robarts. But though it's not the quietest, Wilson Lounge is where we always hung out that table in the corner for people who remember the times of being in Wilson Lounge. That like that's a great place, especially with like all the windows, so you can like look out on the street or the quad. So that's nice. And I also like the Sydney Smith Commons, especially the one area I think they just did some new stuff to it like during the last year. So I went over there a couple of times. They got like tables and benches, whiteboards. So it's a great place. I think people go there especially to do like group projects and stuff sometimes. But both of them are like great. Like they're not the quietest of places, but you can still get work done because everyone's there trying to do work.
Yeah, that sounds great. Like it's an environment, right?
Hmm.
It's something like when you see everyone else around you doing work, you want to do work too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely great advice that that our viewers can heed because, especially I know studying, sitting down, and just looking at your book for a few hours is difficult, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's great
Yeah.
to have
And
places.
yeah, and they're great too because like the libraries are great because it's absolutely quiet and you can sit there with your headphones in. But sometimes you need like that extra sound of like life happening. So those are good places for that.
Hmm. For sure. So highlighting the fact that you're a part of the New College Student Council, let's talk about something that's, New College specific. What is your favorite event hosted by the Student Council, and what did you really enjoy about it?
All right. So last year we did a week-long series of events called New 2.0. And we, like I said, there's stuff going on all week. And one of my favorite events from that was like the final event, which was a silent disco that the off-campus reps did. And I did a little bit of helping set it up because like this is the mid-years kind of headed the whole thing because it was in we look at old documents, we're like, oh, this sounds fun, let's do that. So the off-campus reps did a really great job. It was so much fun. It was so cool because we did it in the library. We did it in DGIV after it closed. So it was just a bunch of people in the library in the dark with headphones on, listening to like three different stations of music we had going. Just it was a really fun just to see like everyone kind of like come have like this like good thing with like stress relief, just like dance, dance, dance. And it was so much fun. Like I said, the off-campus reps did such a good job with planning it. Like I had a really good time, and that's not usually something I'd be interested in, but I was like, hey, this was great. I would love to go to one again.
I have to ask this because you're talking about like dancing and like music and all that. Did you rickroll them? I have to ask.
No, we didn't, but that would have been great. Oh, I even like everyone who was on the DJing were student council members were like, hey, let's do that. No, that's great. Oh,
Oh, that's a little
missed
disappointing.
opportunity.
Oh well, but hey, it's an idea for next time.
Hmm.
Upcoming student councils, if you're watching this,
Yeah.
just a
Silent
suggestion.
disco.
Very good suggestion. Sounds like a lot of fun. Could be
Hmm.
interesting. And if you rickroll them at the end, that would be hilarious. You know, wonderful opportunity though. And certainly something that I'm looking forward to at least seeing as soon as we get back to campus, right? Once again, once
Hmm.
this whole thing blows over. We are actually nearing the end of our time, but I do have one more question for you. What are your plans for reading week?
All right. So one of the things I'm gonna try really hard at least one of the days to go to that event the social commissioners are doing for Virtual Olympics because it'll be a great break and I'd love to see them run it because they're so excited for it. And games are fun. It's fun to go play games, especially when there's prizes that you could win because of the raffle. That's another fun thing. But also, I'll have the classic answer of, oh, schoolwork. I got some readings and papers, midterms, that fun stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a little tough even over reading week. They tell you it's a break week where you can read stuff, and then it actually comes.
Yeah. And then lots of readings, lots and lots of readings.
I do think all the students, all the people out there watching deserve a bit of a break though. I know this, like,
Hmm.
not just this semester, this whole year has been really hectic, and I'm sure it has been for you too.
Yeah.
Um, Having said that, really, thank you for your time today. I know it was, I know you had to schedule a lot, and so thank you for taking the time out of your day to come here and speak to me and speak to the community. I think
Oh,
everyone really
yeah.
appreciates that.
Oh, yeah. No worries. And thank you for having me on here to talk about like some student council stuff. Because I know it's like that. It's such a big part of like the college life because we, with all the events we plan for everyone. So it's important to get out there and let people know what's happening.
Hmm. Sounds great. So, once again, thank you, and thank you, my dear viewers, for being here and watching this segment. I hope you enjoyed and hope you learned something, especially about what's coming up, because there's a lot of student council events, and I do encourage you to at least attend them and have some fun. Relax, sit back, and enjoy your reading week. I wish you all the best, and please take care. Bye bye.